Right, Putin moves south. Struggle for the Eurasian heartland. I don't even know what kind of. I mean, it's a hex and counter war game obviously for sure. I don't know how else to categorize it. Well, it's a modern war magazine game. I guess that is a category, so to speak. I'm just looking at the red die here. I'm not sure. I guess I just left the die here, not as a roll of. Wait. Oh no, actually, I do think the 4 was my combat. I think I did roll the 4 and set it here to remind me to finish this battle. First of all, I have a lot to go over. First of all, Russian equipment identification cards. This one's interesting. Never heard of this. I looked at the nomenclature first, IL-265, then I saw it's an antenna van. Yeah, definitely didn't know Russian antenna vans. That's pretty interesting. It's not a main weapon. There's no, or it's not applicable, the main weapon range, because it is a radar jamming C2 and electronic support complex. So there it is on a truck, actually a pretty heavy duty truck actually, and it's got this system on the top there. So there it is, 1L265 antenna van, radar jamming C2 and electronic support complex. Interesting. Again, I'm going through the playing cards, the worldwide equipment identification cards, Russia edition, just as a thematic thing as I play these games involving Russia. Russia are the orange units here in the game, in this game here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and talk about CAS so I don't forget. I was completely misunderstanding CAS, close air support, so I want to straighten that out. And I know I have to straighten that out. Now the second thing is, well, actually let me start with that, and then I got a few other things to talk about, and of course I want to resolve this battle as well. So close air support, I was skimming the newer version of the rules, the one for the Iran game, and I noticed in those rules there was a clarification, a note, I guess. I don't remember how it was exactly labeled, but it was a note to not forget that CAS was by unit, not by strength point. So then I was like, what? I thought it was by strength point. So I thought that these NATO fighter units, I thought this was a 1-column shift, this was a 1-column shift, whereas if I had for example, if I had a 5th generation fighter here committed, I thought the 2 would be a 2-column shift. No, it actually has nothing to do with, well, I'll leave the 5th generation fighter. Here's an example as I talk this through. So then I went back to the put and move south rules here, and I noticed that note was missing. So I guess I'm not the only one who missed this. It's very clear, and by the way, it's in the rules. It's just one of those things that you could miss, and I guess maybe players were missing it. So it says very clearly, each air unit committed by the attacking player garners a 1-column shift in their favor. Same for the defender. So that's very clear. So if these 3 NATO units were committed, it's not 4, 2 plus 1 plus 1, it's just 3 because it's 3 air units. So that, again, that's very clear. But then I was thinking, well, if it's by unit, then what's the point of having a strength? 1 or 2? So I think I know what it is, but I did want to check that. So I'm going to take just a moment to actually do that. So under air, it's probably under air units, air operations. Let's talk about air superiority. So use a total to determine the column, total the number of attacking air combat factors. That's what I thought. So when you're doing air superiority, this is a 2 versus a 1. So then you are using the air combat factor. When you're doing bombardment, that's also by air combat factors. So there it is. So that's why I thought, okay, so for CAS, it's by unit, whereas everything else it's by air combat factor. So another way to look at it is when you're talking about air superiority or bombardment, bombardment, by the way, is attacking enemy ground units. That means the 5th generation fighter unit is more effective than the, I guess, legacy or pre-5th generation fighter units. Whereas in CAS, close air support, it's just by unit, so there's no differentiation between the two. Well, that's what I see right now anyways. Okay, that's what I thought. But I wanted to verify that. Actually, now let's resolve the combat. Go through this again. Is this combat here? I will just go straight through the procedure again. Can't get enough practice with the straight up combat. So we want to, there are procedures, so we declare the combat action. Again, I did roll a 4, so I have my roll. It's the fight over Taraz here. Yeah, JTF Marine with air support. Oops, let's put that back in the staging area. JTF Marine with 2 air units in support, attacking Taraz. It's a city, it's a minor base. Minor base will not factor in the combat. Minor military base, to be specific. Oh, I'm sorry. Why did I say that? It is a 1 column left shift. That's another thing I don't think I caught earlier. Oh, I don't think I caught that. Alright. Alright, so, well, I guess that's a good reason to be redoing this. Designate the defending hex. That's Taraz. Okay, designate the attacking units, just JTF Marine for ground units. Calculate the odds. So it's 4 to 1. Odds 4 to 1. Determine column shifts for SF and air units. That's funny. Well, let's go to calculate odds. Determine column shifts. Defender's terrain. There we go. So it's -1 for the city, or left 1. It is -1, but left 1. In the defender's favor, left 1 again, down to 2 to 1 for the minor military base. Yeah. Alright. Concentric attack. It's not a concentric attack. Close air support. Now we do 1, 2. Oh. Okay, yeah, and the Russians didn't commit any air. Okay. So we go 1 to 1 and then 1 to 2. No, I'm sorry, we're going back up. Back up to 4 to 1. Okay. So the 2 for the city and the minor military base is offset by the 2 NATO fighter units for back up to 4 to 1. Then we do SF support. So this is going to be a whopping, that's 4 column shifts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, all the way back down to 1 to 2. And that shows you the significance of all the different factors the game uses. Huh. Now we use the roll of 4. That's an AS. Ah, that's where I left off before when I was playing earlier, not the video but the playing. I rolled the 4 and I saw that it was an AS result because AS is also on. I thought I was on 1 to 1 because I missed the minor military base, but the AS is the same result on a roll to 4. AS is a 4 result on 1 to 1 column and on 1 to 2 column, and that's attacker stall. And the attacker stall result says nothing happens to or with either side's involved force. And that was where I was left stumped, because do they mean that everything that's committed was committed and is now, these units are recycled? Or do they mean the whole attack just didn't happen and basically, and this is the way I'm going to interpret it. I'm interpreting the attack never actually took off, and so all these go back to where they were, so they go back to the staging area. That's what I'm interpreted as.